All right, we're live. I'm going to start this off not doing what I promised that I was going to do. It's still 2:21. We're going to talk about that in a minute. Instead, I'm going to embarrass you a little bit.
Why?
Because
I'm still not even on yet, so I
it's
can't.
okay. And you don't even have the microphone up to your mouth, so nobody can hear you anyway.
Okay.
I'm very proud of this woman, folks. She would probably not say this on the live stream, but the jacket that you see her wearing was a gift from the wonderful and amazing Paul Martin. It was a while ago.
Yeah.
And she hasn't been able to wear it until now.
Yeah.
So I'm very proud of
I'm
you
excited,
for that.
but thank you.
My weight does not matter today because you have that's a milestone, being able to get that
It
on.
really is. There's a few things like I've been able to wear that I hadn't been able to wear in a long time. So, but I was always upset that I could never wear this jacket because it's our logo, and I've always liked it. So.
Okay, I'm looking at this on, let me see something here. This looks, I'm going to refresh this page because I've had a couple of people say that everything sounds good, but the weird thing is, okay, there it is. It was showing up very strange on my playback here. So anyway, how is everybody doing tonight? I'm super excited to be here with absolutely no agenda whatsoever. The new time starting, the new start time,
8 o'clock.
I'm hoping that works out well for everybody. We'll see. I guess we'll see the numbers here. We'll see what they end up doing. It doesn't really matter. At the end of the day, what's important is that I feel like we are going to present better if we start this a little bit early. I'm not going to be as panicked to...
Especially since we're working out in the mornings. And I can say we now because I've officially started getting up and doing it in the mornings instead of the afternoons.
Yeah, Jeff Rose is with us tonight, and he's familiar with this. And Jeff, let me tell you something. I'm coming for you, brother, because I'm on a mission now. And you know what? We're gonna show this in a video. We got a new thing coming up here. As far as videos on our channel. Not going to go into great detail about it. You said, got to keep it quiet. And I agree. But it's probably going to go up this week. In fact, I'm quite positive it is. And we're going to talk about this in that video. But I made a purchase this week with your blessing. Live on video. It was actually not live on video, but you know what I mean. With your blessing, I went and made a major purchase to help benefit us in our weight loss journey, but it turns out I'm the only one that uses it because you're weird like
no,
that.
because I'm old-fashioned and don't believe in. I like to use something until you can't use it anymore. I just can't. It's like I can't just.
She's using a treadmill that only one button works on.
Well, it works.
So I bought a new one, and I'm excited about it. We show it in this video coming up. We're going to try something new, not Sunday's video, an additional video for next week. It is a fish keeping video, folks, but there's just going to be little things in there that will add to it to see what the audience thinks. If the audience hates it, then we won't do it. But I'm excited about it. It's actually brought a new kind of...
It's because it's more real life. It's just real life.
What's the word I'm looking for? A new invigoration? I don't know.
It's like behind the scenes of KG Tropicals, basically.
I know, but what I'm saying is the impact that it's had on me. Like, I'm totally inspired. Like,
Right.
I'm so excited about this. It's going to be a lot of fun. At least it's going to be a whole lot of fun for us. Hopefully it's fun for you to watch. There's going to be content in the videos that is to benefit fish keepers. But there's going to be a little more to it too. Anyway, look for that on Tuesday, and if it does well, then we'll keep doing it. If it doesn't do well, we might keep doing it anyway because it's fun. So there you go. But anyway, enough about all that stuff. I do want to say I'm not going to announce my weight anymore, and I'm going to tell you why. Because I've gotten to a place where it's not all about that number to me. It's about the way I feel. It's the way I look. I'm noticing differences in the mirror. I know that sounds a little weird, but that's what's the more important part to me. I do have a number goal, but I don't think I'm going to do the weekly thing anymore, because if I stay the same like I have for the last 2 weeks, then people might be like, what a loser. But I don't feel like a loser. I feel amazing. I feel great. I feel accomplished. I feel really good about what I'm doing. Mm-hmm. I'm not going to let a number bring me down. Right. So periodically I will announce the numbers, but I'm not going to do it every single week, because I just don't feel like talking about it anymore on live streams, because, it is what it is. But so yeah, be on the lookout for some questions. Today is all about Q&A again, because last week was a lot of fun, and it seemed to work out well. We enjoyed it. It's the audience seemed to enjoy it, so we're going to go with that again. But I do have a couple of things to talk about while you're looking for a question. We do already have some super chats that came through too, but you notice the tank behind the beautiful Lisa Marie with the new jacket on still has no fish in it. I think you probably know why. The weather this week has been catastrophic.
It's so cold.
Not only cold, but it's been snowing all over the East Coast, and it's been a mess. And Florida Exotic Fish Sales messaged earlier in the week, and they were like, look, I don't think we're going to be able to do it this week. And I'm like, hey, I'm bummed, but so what? It is what it is. You got to do what you got to do. And you know what? One of the main reasons why I'm not upset about it is we had to do the exact same thing.
Yeah.
People that had purchased fish from us, we had to email them. I'm going to take credit for it. I had to email them and say, hey, sorry, but we're not able to ship fish out this week because it's just too risky. So there you go. That's kind of how our week started out. And it's a bummer. They're saying next week, but we'll have to see. I mean, it's this is the time of year. You never know. It's unpredictable. You don't know what's going to happen. So if we don't get them next week and we have to wait till the week after, it's fine. I'm not gonna be all upset about it. So that's it. That's literally the only updates that I have. I don't have anything else really to talk about as far as our business or anything like that. We didn't get any fish and we didn't ship any fish. So really not a whole lot going on.
Right.
So do you have one already?
Well, here's one. Grandma Ducky asked, is it okay to fill the entire bottom of my beta 5 to 10 gallon tanks with moss balls? And honestly, I don't see why not.
Certainly not going to hurt anything.
No, I have a lot of moss balls in my 15 gallon tanks, a lot of them. And the cool thing is they will start to expand. And I like that. And I can't kill a moss ball, so that's even better. And you have something in there live, so go for it. Absolutely.
Stormy Rose, that sounds like a character on a show, on a Netflix show or something, became a member. Jeremy Sellers said, good evening, KG Tropicals. Good evening to you, my friend. Earlier evening than usual. Again, hopefully that works out for everyone. Doesn't seem to be hurting us on as far as the numbers go. Right. Is it going to be something that is going to result in more people watching? I hope it does. Not because of anything other than that means it was a good move, because more people are able to access it that would have probably had to watch it on replay later on. If you're watching this on replay, we're starting this at 8 o'clock now on Thursday nights Eastern time. So if 9 o'clock has been too late for you, come join us at 8. If 8 o'clock usually isn't too late for anybody unless your name's Mark Wahlberg. So I think he goes to bed at 6, but he gets up at 2 or whatever. Stupid.
That's weird. Melissa Jeswald said, I'd rather wait for a live fish. I feel so bad when they're shipped anyway. And I'm so glad you feel that way, Melissa, because I will be sending you your special fish next week. Hopefully, if not the week after. It's going to depend on weather, so.
I just got a private message that said, I'm totally watching the hockey game on the screen behind you because it's showing through on the tank right there.
Nice.
You want to see what I see? There it is. You can see, wow, you got to point all weird. There's us, and there's the chat, and this is the Caps game. Yeah, I have the Caps game on my other screen here, so it's beautiful. I can talk to you beautiful people, and I can watch my Caps who are losing at the moment, but that's okay. Melissa Jeswald, now that you bring that up, also said, my son bought me Diane Wallstad's Ecology of the Planted aquarium for my birthday. He's the greatest son on the planet, and I'm not at all biased.
That is so awesome.
That's a very thoughtful gift. Like
Yeah.
that's either very thoughtful, or you said out loud someday, Melissa, you know, I'd really love to have that Wallstad book, and whatever it is, but that's a very thoughtful gift.
Yeah,
Congratulations to you. That's awesome. And then Furloughs Aquatics came in with a super chat, even though he's not here, because he said he has company over tonight and they're more important than us, and they should be.
Yeah.
I have my thing off the screen here. It's a thumbs up hippo. What did I call that before? I think I said it was a cow before or something like that. But no, it's definitely a hippo. So there we go. You got anything else?
I'm trying to read and it keeps going, so go ahead.
Yeah, that is. Oh, look, Paul Martin's here. He says, I get 30 minutes of live stream before starting my second shift. Miss you guys. It's perfect that you're here, Paul.
Oh, I'm wearing the jacket that you sent me like 5 years ago.
She's finally able to wear it. In case you missed that in the beginning of the show, she was not able to fit in that earlier, but now she can. Max Simmons asks, best dither fish with 2 blood parrots in a 40-gallon. Do you need dithers? I don't think you need dithers. I think you just want more fish in there with the blood parrots, because blood parrots are awesome, but you want some more activity in there. The good thing is I have not seen a mean blood parrot. I'm sure they're out there.
They're so cute with their little mouths. They're like, ooh.
I know. Their mouth is so weird. They really can't even do
They're weird looking,
any
but
damage.
they're cute at the same time.
Everything that I've ever seen says that they are a combination of red devil and Severum, which would mean one of the most docile cichlids on Earth combined with one of the nastiest cichlids on Earth.
Your Severum is staring me down. It's so funny.
He wants you to feed him. But I've never seen a blood parrot be terrible. Like, I mean, I've seen them go up to fish and all of that, but the way their mouth is, it's not like they can even bite anything. So I don't know that there would be any issues. So community fish, as long as it won't fit in that weird mouth of theirs, community fish would be perfectly fine. I've seen them with angels. I've never done it, but I've seen them with angels. I've seen them with other large cichlids like Oscars and stuff like that. I've had them with Oscars, and they're just awesome. I mean, they're really not going to hurt anybody. You wouldn't worry necessarily about the blood parrots as much as you would the other fish that are in the tank hurting the blood parrots. So I don't know if that helps, but there you go.
I have one.
Shoot.
Juan Castillo asked, is 11 female betas with 5 mollies okay? In a 36-gallon. It's my first tank setup. LOL, scared I can't get them to get along. Well, the one thing that caught me, and the reason why I'm going to tell you no, I don't think it's a good idea, is that you said it's my first tank setup. And I think that for a beta sorority, you need to have more experience and it not be your first tank setup. So I would go with just mollies and community fish that get along, a bunch of mollies, different mollies. But I wouldn't try betas yet, like a beta sorority. One male beta in there or one female beta, okay, but I wouldn't try 11 female betas. Just, give it some more time, do some more research, get a little bit more fish keeping under your belt.
Was he presenting that as if it is, he's already done it, or he's wanting to do it? Because it sounded like when you read it to me that he's already done it.
No, he's asking, is 11 female betas with 5 mollies okay in a 36-gallon? It's my first tank setup, and I'm assuming it's a 36-gallon setup cycled, and he's asking before he puts fish in. That's what I'm assuming. So
because if he already has them, then it's a little too late to say don't do it. But that's why I was asking.
Yeah, I would definitely have a major backup plan there just to be on the safe side.
Real quick, Mary Miller Cruz sent a $5 super chat with nothing attached to it. Thank you so much, Mary Miller Cruz. And Alan Lishman became a new member. Welcome to the team, my friend. I saw something unique here, something weird that I haven't seen. Oh, okay. It's another verified YouTuber. I've not seen that before. We never get YouTubers in here that have over 100,000 subscribers. That's why.
That's a lie.
Well, we get Corey.
And Primetime has been in. And yeah.
That's true.
There's been
Corey
people...
and Primetime. And remember Mr. Beast that time.
Yeah. I feel like there's got to be somebody else and you're offending them. I just know it.
It was not the real Mr. Beast, folks. Don't everybody freak out. But this says Lunator. I'm probably botching that. Hi, guys. Random confirmed YouTuber here. My nano shrimp died because of cold climate. My heater doesn't fit in the nano tank. What can I make? What can you looking to for a dish to make with those dead shrimp? What can you make? I'm assuming you mean like how can you fix that problem, or what can you keep in the tank? In a nano tank, I'm wondering how big that tank is. There are small 5-watt heaters, 10-watt heaters that are preset. They're very small. I mean, you've got a couple of them. They're literally like this big. They sell them at Petco. And they'll get your nano tank if it's like a 3-gallon or something like that. They'll get that up to temperature around 78 or so. That's what I would do. It's surprising to me. When we started selling heaters, it's surprising to me how many people bought them and then email and said it doesn't fit. Because they're like, well, I have a 5-gallon tank. I'll just get the smallest one, a 50-watt. But the 50-watt Jaeger, I don't know how you say it, heater that we have is still like, 9 inches long. It's too big for a 5-gallon. So you have to put it in there diagonally or whatever. It's surprising how many we've sold to people in that situation. Then they have to send them back and it's a whole hassle. But the little teeny ones, and that might be something that we look into down the road to keep in our inventory.
Well, it would make more
little
sense
teeny ones.
Since
little
we
teeny.
sell betas.
Yeah, but we really need one that's suitable for a 5-gallon because that's what we recommend to everybody is 5-gallon for the betas. So, yeah, Lunator. You're not a fish keeping channel. You can't be, because if you're a fish keeping channel with over 100,000 subscribers, I would know who you are. But thank you for being a subscriber and being a big time YouTuber and coming on our stream. That's very cool.
Brienne Farrell asks you and me, do you two ever join other streams? Yep. I mean, if you mean go on and as a guest, then I've been on Susie Q's Q Aquatics and Bob's Steamfot, and John's been on a lot of streams. But as far as like popping in, like when other people are streaming, I pop in here and there. I'm very, very random. So.
And I go on a lot of streams. I watch a lot of streams.
Oh yeah, I lurk a lot.
I don't always comment on them because I end up feeling bad, because you comment on it and then there's 75 messages. Hi John, hi John, hi John, hi John. And that's cool. That's awesome. It makes me feel special, but at the same time, it takes away from the streamer, and I don't want to do that. Unless it's Bob Steamfot, then I go on there all the time and give him a hard time. But I mean, I've commented on plenty of others too. And on the topic of other streamers, daggone it, I can't believe it's 20 minutes in and I forgot to mention this. Our usual follower tonight, or on Thursday nights, Fish Room Fever, usually follows us at 10:30 when we finish up. He is also moving his stream because he is a smart person, and he's moving his stream up an hour earlier too. So he is still going to be following us immediately after we're done. He'll be on at 9:30, Fish Room Fever.
I bet his wife is going to be so happy about that. They don't all have to go to bed at midnight or later.
I mean, it's
Especially
lot later
when you
than
have
that for him.
Kids, yeah,
because he ends up going on like Ed streams after him and stuff. They're like up all night streaming.
Wow.
So he's probably still going to be doing that. But Fins and Friends John, you rock. Lisa does too, by the way. Keep doing what you're doing. Thanks.
So funny.
I'm assuming he's saying that about what I was talking about in the beginning. I don't care about the scale. I care about the way I feel. I'm going to assume that's what that was about, why he singled me out. But thank you, Finn and friends. We're friends now. So there you
Awesome.
go. Oh, Fish Tank Barn tip jar. I had fish canceled this week too. Yeah, I mean it's a problem this week, and it might not get better next week. It's unfortunate, but that is one of the downsides to the Caps just got scored on. So I'm sorry, I'm distracted. I need to turn that game off.
What is the score?
It's 2-0, and I'm not very happy about it.
Oh, that's so disappointing.
And it's the Rangers. But you kind of, if you're going to order fish online in the winter, whether it's from us or anybody, you kind of need to have a little bit of patience and a little bit of set your expectations that the retailer is going to do the right thing. I don't think we are different than any other retailer that sells fish. I think everybody is going to do what's right for the fish. And if I'm being honest with you, if you're going to order fish and somebody's going to send them to you and anything that's not next day air early AM, and they're going to do that when there's a foot of snow on the ground, you might want to question that particular retailer. I mean, if they're sending you a second day air shipment and it's 4 degrees outside and freezing and a blizzard, how desperately are they really wanting to get rid of those fish? They're already paid for. You already got the money. What are you worried about? Just hold on to them. Wait until the fish is more likely to be okay to be shipped. But anyway,
I'm taking care of a lot of other people's fish right now.
yeah, this right here. I mean, it doesn't look impressive on the screen, but this is all of the orders for fish. There's like 32 of them at this point that we were supposed to ship out on Monday, and we can't we didn't because of that. So they'll go out next week. But yeah, got to have patience when it comes to winter. Oops, sorry. You got one?
But, yeah. Devin B asks, do you recommend any beta foods?
Lots of them.
Well, the first one I would recommend is Extreme beta pellets.
Little bias. There is a little bias.
A little bias, but it's a wonderful food. It's great. But I also use the Hikari beta pellets and the
freeze-dried bloodworms.
Yeah, the Hikari freeze-dried bloodworms too. So,
and the krill flakes.
Huh?
Yeah, we feed a lot of different stuff to
Oh,
the
yeah,
betas.
the Extreme Krill Flakes and also the Extreme Community Crave, only because I really like that. It has that spirulina in it, and it's not my staple food for them, but I do give it to them a couple times a week just because I do believe in having a healthy digestive system for your betas. So, yeah, I pretty much stick with Extreme Hikari. So, there you go.
Fishroom Fever, Karen Hyatt, I'm probably not saying that right, and Conchaco V all came in with super chats with no question or anything on there. Just here you go. I want to get to this real quick because this person is typing in all caps, which I would usually yell at this person for this. And they've put this question in the chat about 10 times, which would normally aggravate me, but it's not going to aggravate me now because we are, it is what it is. I'm going to say Reese because I think that's how Reese Hoskins spells his name. Mm-hmm. But RHYS Sutherland, top 3 ways of preventing peacock aggression. I'm not giving you 3, especially when you typed all caps.
Oh, 3 ways to prevent it? Have only a male tank.
Don't do 3. Just on principle, don't do 3 because he typed all caps. We have to punish him.
Oh.
Give 2.
Well, make it an all-male tank. Make sure you have plenty of them in the tank. You don't want to only have like 2 or 3. You want to have, depending on your tank size, you want to have the right amount in there. Say you have a 125-gallon, throw in 25. I would say that's good. I mean, and
Sure.
Peacocks, yeah. If we were talking about haps, I'd be a little bit like, it just depends on which ones because they can get so large. But make sure you have plenty of them. Make sure they're able to, there's so much chaos in there that they're not focusing on one. So have more than less. No females, and give them, I'm doing 3. Give them a healthy diet, make sure you're feeding them properly and giving them a good healthy food, and do your water changes. Keep up with your water changes, because the more you feed them, the more you want to make them happy, the more they're going to poop, so you've got to do plenty of water changes.
That's 4. She gave you 4.
Well, I could go on. I used to sell them.
And I'm going to give one more, because I was just joking when I said I'm only going to give you 2. Another one, and this is something that a lot of people don't talk about, and we've used this in the past. It sounds cruel, but it's really not. Lower the temperature a little bit. If you're typically keeping your tank at 82 degrees for your peacocks, which I don't know where you're from, you might do Celsius, lower it down to 79. That's not torturing them. It's a little bit cooler, and it will slow them down a little bit and calm them down a little bit. I would use that last. I would do all of the things that she just said, because that's exactly what I would have said. Word for word, I would have said the same things. And if none of that works, then lower the temperature a little bit.
And also buffer the pH, so it's not.
I don't think that's going to do anything for aggression, though.
Yeah, but you want to keep that pH.
You're just trying to flex your African cichlid knowledge muscles. That's what you're trying to do in your new sexy jacket that Paul Martin gave you.
Stop talking like that. We're on YouTube.
Monday O'Reilly, I'm so glad you came in here tonight, because I am rewatching Lord of the Rings, and your avatar is Aragorn. Is it Aragorn or Aragon? I've always said Aragon.
You're rewatching
but I think it's Aragorn.
Shouldn't you know?
But they all say it with accents. I mean, who knows? Hey, John and Lisa, what are you guys' opinions on blood parrots? Well, we already talked about them. I personally think they're super cute, and I plan to keep them in the future. The biggest gripe that you'll get from people when it comes to blood parrots is that they are hybrids. And when it comes to John and Lisa, neither one of us gives a you-know-what about fish being hybrids. I care about the environment. I care about the welfare of fish. I care about preserving wild fish and all. I care about all of these things, but I am not one of these people that believes that hybrid fish damage the hobby or damage the sanctity of these particular fish. Yeah, we sell hybrid fish on our website, the aliens, and they sell like crazy. But you know what? I don't care. I've always maintained, go all the way back. One of my most successful videos when I first started my channel, when I could call it my channel then, because you weren't even a part of it, was about hybrids.
I'm wearing the logo. I've had it for many years.
You are a 50% owner of this company, that's for sure. But yeah, anyway, I've made videos about how I don't care about hybrids for years now, 8 years now. I am not somebody that, I'm not going to repeat myself, but yeah, I love hybrids. If the hybrid part doesn't bother you, then you're not going to have any issues, because, people will give you a hard time about it and you just won't care. But after saying all of that, I love blood parrots. I mean, they're awesome. And another thing I'm going to add, I'm not going to get down off my soapbox yet. If a fish brings people into the hobby and that fish is a hybrid, then that's doing good for the hobby. I've never heard of anybody saying, I was a fish keeper and I love keeping fish, but once I heard that those blood parrots aren't pure fish, they're hybrids, I was like, forget it, I'm not keeping fish anymore.
Hypocrisy.
What?
What about glowfish?
See, you're trying to start an argument here.
Let's do it.
But it's an argument that you and I are on the same page about.
I know, but it's no different than saying exactly what you just said, because so many people are going to say, well, you don't like glowfish or you don't agree with glowfish, and they help bring people into the hobby.
And I love that about them. And I've said that I love that about them, except when it's a 3-year-old and mommy buys the 3-year-old a 3-gallon tank to put 12 of those neon white skirts in there, or whatever it is, the glow white skirts. I call them glow white skirts. I don't know what they are, but that I have a problem with, because mommy isn't planning on taking care of the tank. They're just giving it to little Bobby, or these days, I'm not going to say anything, but that I have a problem with. But if a grown adult is walking through a PetSmart and sees glowfish and says, that's awesome, I want those, I want to start a tank full of those, that's amazing. And I love that about glowfish. I've always said that. That's never changed. So don't you dare try to start a fight with me in front of how many people are watching.
No, I was speaking
700 people.
I was speaking for the people. I was especially speaking for the Zen Ginger.
Lisa will be running for office here soon. She is a patron of the people. Nicole Pish, I hope I'm saying it right again. Hillstream Loach with discus. Thoughts? Hillstream Loaches like the water colder, don't they? I've never kept them. Not against them. I'm not opposed to them. I think they're pretty cool because they're unique. But don't they like colder water? And discus are the polar opposite of that. I don't think there's going to be an issue with the discus messing with them. And Hillstream Loaches have never been known to bother any other fish, really. So I don't think there's an issue with aggression or size. Discus mouths are that big. But I think there's a variance in water parameters that they want. But maybe I'm unaware that Hillstream Loaches can be kept in warmer water. And if that's the case, then great.
I'm not very familiar with Hillstream Loaches, honestly. But discus, the only time I've known them to be any kind of aggressive is if they're breeding. But then I do have this one discus that just has not grown like all the others. And I feel like the poor thing has got picked on. He's been chased around a little bit. He's got a little messed up. So he's going to get put, I'm actually working on a 10-gallon to put him in right now because I just feel so bad for him. All the other ones have grown and he's kind of stayed smaller.
What did you call him?
Shrimpy.
Shrimpy guy.
Shrimpy
called him.
Guy.
Yeah.
I call him Shrimpy
You called
Guy.
him. That's going to be the video on Tuesday. little heads up there. Mike Black became a member. Nicole, I already said that. Sorry. We already got to Nicole. You got a double shout out there, Nicole. Sick Lid. Love the new time, and you're beautiful as always. He was so nice to me, saying that I'm beautiful, but he wasn't talking to me. He was talking to you. Of course, come on. I'll be beautiful in a few months.
You're beautiful too. Stop it. You give yourself too much of a hard time.
Now I have the Christina Aguilera song in my head. Tracy Kearney.
Right, now I have it in my head.
I'm moving from New Jersey to Long Island, New York, and I have a 35 to 40 fish and 3 big tanks. How should I go about doing this the best way? Please help. Love the channel, by the way. Hashtag Team Lisa.
Oh, thank you.
Well, I'm not answering your question if you're Team Lisa.
What was the question?
I'm joking.
Do it. Read it again.
The first thing I want to say is these new videos that we're going to be doing coming up, there's going to be one of them that's going to revolve around moving tanks, and we're going to demonstrate that in there. But I wish I could mute this computer that just keeps going, boom. There's the mute button.
Can you reread the question?
No, I will do no such thing because I know the question and I'll go ahead and answer it. The first thing that I'm going to want you to do is not panic. And I want you to have, Tracy, a very detailed plan. It's not as complicated as it might seem. You're going from Jersey to Long Island. I know that's not very far. I mean, it's not like you're moving from New Jersey to Arizona. Then it would be like, all right, we need to really make a plan here. But you're moving probably just a few hours away. New Jersey's a little teeny state. So the biggest thing is have a plan and have a plan on the other end. You are right now at 8:34 p.m. on a Thursday night watching a live stream about aquarium fish, which means you are a crazy person that is obsessed with your fish. So, and I mean crazy person in a beautiful way, just like we are.
Yeah.
So you're the kind of person that wants to make sure that you do it right. Otherwise you wouldn't have done what you just did. So spend some time and make a plan. Know where you're going to put your fish, how you're going to transport them. They're going to be fine. People panic because they're like, my fish are going to be in water that's not filtered for 5 hours. Are they going to die? No. How many hours do you think they were in a bag when they were shipped from Indonesia to where, you know what I'm saying?
I mean, unless they're putting them in water that just came out of the tap that got treated and the water's really bad.
But she's watching a live stream on a Thursday night about fish. She knows that you got to put water conditioner in there. Or
I'm just saying,
the easy.
I knew that you should put water conditioner in my 125-gallon tank with my discus and my rummy nose, and I did it, but they treated the tap water and it ended up killing my rummy nose. So I'm just saying, you got to be careful.
Perfect world scenario, Tracy, is going to be you're going to have a USB powered air pump. Aquarium Co-op sells an amazing one. We've got 2 of them, I think, and they're awesome.
Yeah, we have a couple.
I use them. They're both running right now as we speak. One is in my guy's tank and the other is in my goldfish tank. They are great. You probably have a USB port in your car. If you don't, get one of those little adapters that goes into your cigarette lighter. It's 2021. Everybody has those. Plug that in. Perfect world is you will have that and you will run an air stone in that tank. And if it's in the warm car, it is wintertime and it is Long Island, which is cold. But if it's in the car and you're going straight from Jersey to Long Island, it's going to be in the heated, warm car, and you're putting them in the tank or in a bucket or in a tote or whatever it is, and you put that air stone in there. Believe me when I tell you, you ain't got nothing to worry about. Now, if you're going to stop at Cracker Barrel and you're going to spend 2 hours eating a delicious country fried steak and then doing some shopping in the store and they're out there freezing. They have
the best store ever.
I love Cracker Barrel. But
I love Cracker Barrel too.
You're not going to want to do that. And this is why I said you're going to want to have a plan. And what I would do is, I don't know how big your tanks are. You said 3 big tanks. Some people think 29 gallons are big. Me, when I say big, I'm looking at this behind me and that one behind her. Hundreds of gallons. But yours, who knows what size tanks yours are. Have a plan. The best thing to do is drain those tanks down. Shut your filter down. Don't dump it all out. Just leave the water in there. It's only going to be a few hours. You're going to be fine. Transport that filter with everything that's beautiful in it. Don't disturb your substrate. Leave everything alone. This way, it's just like if you were to move your tank from one side of the room to the other. How would you do that? You would drain it all down. You would move everything, and then you would refill it back up and go on business as usual. Do the same thing when you're moving your fish. If you have to be overnight or you have to be several days throughout the process, then we're having a different talk. But if you're just going straight from one to the other, then if you do that, you should be fine. And the best case scenario, and I know this is hard, we are going to have to do this if we ever move out of this house. You need to have, with 3 big tanks, you really ought to have a day dedicated to moving your fish. I know that sounds extreme, but if you're going to be moving your fish the same day you're moving everything else in your house, that is going to be one of the most stressful things you've ever done in your life.
Oh, very true.
So best case scenario would be that you have that vessel, whether they be buckets or totes, whatever it is, you have an air stone in there, you have them in the car, your fish are fine, you can move them, and just use water from the tank. It's fine. Use your water from the tank, fill up those totes, put the air stone in there, take your time, get over there, fill them back up, and do your thing. I've spent enough time on that. I hope that helps, Tracy, and I hope that was worth your super chat. You got one? No? Okay.
I'm sure there was plenty, but about 10,000 went by while you were explaining that one.
Should have stopped it. Fishy Biz just dropped in. What's cracking, John? Still number 2.
Because of my Instagram. I put that up yesterday or the day before.
I saw that.
Oh, you did? You didn't tell me.
I did see it.
Oh.
Cobra Kai, check out Warrior, and let's talk later, y'all. Warrior? What's Warrior? I don't know what Warrior is. I'm rewatching Lost for the 9th time, I think. It's 2-1 now, by the way. I'm rewatching Lost. And So it's probably going to be a little bit before I get to Cobra Kai. But Lost is my treadmill show that I watch. Season 4, episode 5, I think is what I'm on now. But I'll get to Cobra Kai after that. And Micah.
I got one.
Okay, but hold on. This one's a quick one because it's just a pair.
I just always
Micah
move.
Godry. I'm terrible. I'm sorry, Micah. Number 1 fan pair dancing. It's awesome. Thank you. That is awesome. Thank you for that. Go ahead.
I only want to answer this one because I've seen it a couple times. Mercury ruled 75. I have 18 juvenile and Bunas and a 55. Should or could I add a few more? And I would say no. I would just stick with what you got because those might even outgrow the 55 depending on which Mbunas you have. So I would just have fun with those and not add any more.
Plus, unless you were able to differentiate between males or females or bought them from a reputable breeder or retailer, they're probably going to do some breeding and give you some free fish.
Yeah. Yeah, have fun with what you already have.
Absolutely. Nicole Peach again. I mean, I probably said it differently. Oh, Peaches. Peaches? Is that how you say it? That's awesome if that's how you say it. Forgot to say love the new time. And she's Canadian, so I don't know what time it is where you're at. I know some area, it's like us. Some areas are an hour ahead.
It's so widespread, just like the U.S.
Yep. Apollo Veritas. Are just 2 African ropefish okay in a 29-gallon? I worry just the 2 of them will need a 45. The African ropefish. I want to make sure I'm thinking of the right thing. So you go ahead. We will come back to Apollo in just a second. I want to make sure I'm thinking of the right thing. Go ahead.
What?
Get one.
Okay. Farhan Yusuf. Hi, can I keep any fish with red devils? I would say
sometimes.
It depends. You definitely want them to be bigger, and that doesn't even count because we had a Pacu with our red devils that was a lot bigger than the red devils, and they still killed him.
Yeah, not very long.
You got to be real careful with them. We've had gars, jaguar cichlids. Did I say that right? You always get on me.
Jaguar, really?
Shut up. I mean, we've had them together, and they've been fine with each other. And we've had them with other fish. They've been okay with them. But we have had my Oscar that I did like got beat up by them. So I'd just be super careful. I don't even think I'm answering your question.
Good job.
Yeah.
So the African ropefish is the one that I was thinking of. See, I'm not a ropefish guy. That's one of those things. I think they're awesome, and I love seeing them in pet stores, and I'm like, oh, that's really cool. But I've never personally owned one. 2 and a 29. Yeah, you're totally fine. They don't require huge tanks. But then again, you're getting that information from somebody that's never kept them. So keep that in mind. A 45 is not going to be this massive jump that you're thinking it is, especially with those fish. They don't get huge, and they can slither around, and they're going to be fine. 29 gallons or 30 inches long, so you should be good. But you know what? It's never ever ever a bad time to buy a bigger tank. That's so if you're thinking about the 45, go ahead and get it.
Yeah.
And then you can put something really cool in 29 to replace
That's a great
the
idea.
ropefish when you get them out of there.
Dragon Jurassic Master. I want to keep a beta that is poorly bred to give it a new life. What do you recommend, Lisa?
Oh boy.
I think that is an amazing idea, and I say go for it and give that beta the best life ever.
Which would be?
If it's just one single beta, depending on what you can afford, I mean, if the least you can do is a 5-gallon, get a 5-gallon, put some plants that you're able to take care of without killing. I know that's hard. Put some catappa leaves in there because that will help a lot. That will help prevent that beta from getting diseases. And it's very beneficial. I'm not saying it's a cure, but the catappa leaves will help prevent a lot of bacterial and fungal diseases and stuff like that. Just feed it a very healthy, varied diet, like, all the foods that I mentioned earlier, a good pellet with high protein, bloodworms. Throw something in that might have spirulina in it a couple times a week to keep the digestive system healthy. Make sure you have a heater in there, keep that temperature up. And it's very important. A lot of people don't discuss this, but I think having a neutral pH is very important. You don't want to have a pH, wherever you get this beta from, see what the water, the pH in the water is that you get it, so that you're not doing too much fluctuation. If they're used to a lower pH and you stick them in a higher pH, that could not be a good thing. You just want to keep things neutral as far as that goes. But anyways, hope I answered your question.
Wow, that individual got their... Well, there was not a super chat attached to that. I was going to say got their money's worth.
I'm just answering a question. I want to make sure
hey, you did a thorough job.
They do a great job
awesome.
on that.
Justin Richardson, thoughts on Fluval Spec 5? I am personally a fan. I had one, did a video on it a while back. I like the all-in-one tanks. Some people poo-poo them. I'm not one of those people. I like the all-in-one desktop nano tanks. I think they're easy. I think they're awesome. The only thing I wasn't crazy about with that tank, and maybe they've changed that now, but the light went out on me after not very much time. So that might have just been that mine was faulty, but the light is great. It works really well. And then the only complaint I have about the design of it, I'm not a huge fan of the open hole on the top of the lid. Again, maybe they may have changed that, but the one that I had a nice plastic lid, but it had a hole in it so that the light could get through, I guess, which it will go through plastic, no problem. I don't know why they had to do that. Not a big fan of that. I lost some shrimp out of that hole. So, that's a good reason to not like it. But overall, I like the tank a lot. When my light went out, I had a small light that I just put over top of that hole so no fish could escape out of there anymore, and it was fine. But I'm a fan. I mean, especially if it's going to be in an office or something like that where you need something that's easy to maintain and stuff like that. I think the Fluval Spec is awesome. Furloughs Aquatics, I'm just jumping in here because it's Eric. We got to...
Oh, yeah, definitely Eric.
Late, but I made it. Was getting a tattoo.
What?
And then visiting with my brother Jordan.
Is it of a beta?
The tattoo is something that has been on my mind for a while.
Does it say Dory?
Not the one I'm thinking of.
That's his wife's name.
I know
Oh my
that.
Goodness. Rude.
Capture MTB with the $2.99 of whatever currency that is. Pounds, euros, pence. I don't know what it is. I never know. People do it, and I appreciate it, and it's awesome, and I always mess it up every time I do that. Chet, I apologize. New to your channel, great stuff. I have 0 nitrates, 0 nitrites, but I'm seeing 0.5 parts per million ammonia. 55-gallon tank has been up for about 2 months now. Any ideas? Yeah, the tank's not cycled. I hate to be blunt, but... if there is ammonia present in the tank's not cycled. The bacteria is not doing its job.
Are you sure? Okay, so story time.
Here we go.
2018? Is that the first aquatic experience we went to? Or was it 2019? I think it was 2019, the second one. Susie Q had fish, and she was using the water from the hotel where we were staying at. And some of the water was killing our fish, remember? Because there was ammonia in it coming straight out of the tap. Now that happens. That's kind of common in some places.
But 0 nitrates.
Okay, well, I was just throwing it out there, John. He said 2 months. I just
she tries
figured.
to flex.
No,
She
it's
tries to
been
flex.
2 months. It's not like he said. I set it up last week.
0 nitrates with ammonia present tells me the tank is not cycled. And the thing is,
Show off.
what what a lot of people think, particularly newer fish keepers, you say you're new to the channel, Chet. I don't know if you're new to fish keeping, but they'll say, well, my fish haven't died. I mean, I do my water changes, my fish haven't died, so I just assumed that it was cycled. And that's understandable that people would think that. But the thing is, if there's ammonia present and no nitrites and no nitrates, that is a cycling issue. As Lisa was saying, if there was ammonia and there's nitrites and nitrates, like everything's in there, it could be a water source issue, like she was talking about with Suzy Q. And I do remember that. And that could be a bigger problem. But if that were the problem, then it would be something that I would want you to be treating and all of that prior to putting it into your tank. But that's what water conditioners are for too. I mean, conditioners like Fritz Complete and Prime, they eliminate that ammonia if your water source does have ammonia in there, so you should be fine with that. But yeah, that's what my instinct is telling me. And sorry about botching your last name. You got one?
No.
Mike C, I have a 75 with 13 Malawi cichlids, 3 Mbuna, 7 peacocks, 3 haps. My wife loves frontosas. Will one work with my setup? Want to include her in the hobby?
Oh, that's so sweet.
Listen, Mike, I'm going to tell you.
Sounds like this person really cares about his wife.
Yep. I'm
Probably
gonna
wouldn't
tell you,
embarrass her on a live stream or anything either.
Let me tell you. Let me tell you what. You're the one that just tried to embarrass me. Let me tell you what I would do, Mike. This is the strategy I would take with something like that. I would say, you know what? Listen, honey, I want to get you that frontosa, but you know the peacocks, haps, and mbunas, they're from Malawi, and the frontosa is from Lake Tanganyika, so they're just not compatible, which
That's
is
a
total
lie.
BS.
We've
But
done it.
I know it's total BS, but you know it's a fact. They originate from different water source, different places.
So he could get 2 tanks.
so
I see what you're doing.
Yeah, you see what I'm saying here.
Yeah.
So what you could do is say, listen, I have a really good way that we can solve this problem. I'll get a 125 gallon
Or larger.
because my 3 Mbuna, 7 peacocks, and 3 haps are going to get really big. And so I'll get a 125 gallon. I'll put my fish in there, and we can get you 2 or 3 frontosas to put in this 75. What do you think of that? And hey, you want to include her in the hobby? You give her her own tank? Ooh,
I would say more than that. I would say like 4.
even better.
Yeah.
You see where I'm going with this, Mike? Trying to help you out here.
Honey, I need to get a few more fish for my own tank.
Right, because it's going to be spread out. I'm going to
It's
need a
going to be
little
such
bit more
a
chaos.
bigger tank now. I think I could use a few more peacocks and haps.
Or the other strategy,
Yeah.
this one's even better. I think this one might be better. Listen, honey, frontosas need bigger tanks than 75s. So why don't we do this? Why don't we go and why don't we buy a 125 gallon?
His and hers.
And
each.
we'll get you like 10 frontosas. That might be much for a 125. We'll get you 8 frontosas.
8 frontosas.
And we'll put them in the 125 just for you. Because Mike, we both know the tank's going to be yours in the end, right? So look, you get her involved, which is awesome.
You really
I speak
can't
from experience.
say that though, because I take care of more tanks now than you do.
I'm not talking about you. I'm talking about Mike and his
Okay,
wife.
I'm just saying, in the long run, Mike, you might have somebody doing the water changes for you.
I'm not talking
saying.
about the maintenance side of things. That you got to figure that out on your own. But what I'm saying is that tank is in your home. The new 125 with the 8 frontosas in it. Impembwe Blues is what I would go with, by the way.
Beautiful.
It's just as much yours as it is hers. And you'll be like, look at me. I'm the best. That's my celebratory thing, by the way. I don't know why I do that. But you get a 125 out of the deal and some absolutely amazing frontosas.
Right.
Everybody wins. I'm just trying to help you out here.
It's true.
I'm going to keep going until you jump in.
Oh,
Fins and friends, Lisa, you rock too. We love your betas.
thank Thank you.
I believe
Thank you
that's
so
the
much.
second you rock from Fins and Friends. I'm pretty sure that's
I
the
really
second.
appreciate it.
Kayla, I'm not going to do the last name, and I'm sorry. I'm just a bad person. My grandmother passed away tonight on my birthday. And I swear my betas, Jupiter and Neptune, both KG Tropicals boys, knew I was feeling terrible and were super sweet and extra interactive with me. Isn't that incredible?
I'm sorry to hear that.
That is something that you have to experience to fully grasp. We have experienced that kind of thing, whether it be with betas or with dogs or with cats. They can sense it, they know it, and they make you feel better. And it's awesome. And I'm terribly, terribly sorry to hear about your grandmother. It makes me want so much more to be able to say your name properly. I believe it's Abid. That's what I'm going to go with. I'm very sorry to hear about your grandmother. You ready?
Go ahead.
Whips World pooped on us.
Shocker.
We can always count on that guy for a nice poop on a Thursday night. Ethan Wilson, are you still doing the massive yellow lab tank? Yes, you're looking at it. It just doesn't have the yellow labs in it yet. That tank behind Lisa Marie is the yellow labs tank. And it's going to be amazing as soon as the fish get here. They were supposed to come either today or tomorrow, but due to the weather, we're not going to be able to get them probably until next week. But it's all good. It's fine. I'm not in a hurry anymore for anything. Jimmy's Jungle, been looking at arowana color varieties, and I love the golden blue base. Do you have a color variation that you're fond of? I love the super reds. Duh. I mean, of course I do. And then what is it? The RTGs, the red tail goldens. Those are amazing. I love those. I love the fully gold ones. Listen, I'm just going to be honest with you. I don't care what color the arowana is,
Yeah,
particularly
you're
when you
gonna
get to
just like
those
'em.
Asian arowanas. If I could get an Asian arowana, I really wouldn't care what color it was. Super red is kind of the dream of a lot of fish keepers, me included. But an Asian arowana is such an amazing fish. It doesn't matter what color it is. And I'm going to admit something here to you tonight. I had a weird dream last night.
Oh boy.
This was literally last night I had multiple ponds in my backyard. And I was keeping arowanas in one of them. And for some reason, it was Asian arowanas too, which has to be a dream, right? Because I can't get them in the U.S.
Right?
Jimmy's Jungle is that kind of currency from over there somewhere, so he can probably get them. But so it has to be a dream for me to be able to have these. But I had, and I suppose I'd done this myself. I don't know. The area around the pond was dug out, and it was glass, so you could go down the stairs and be able to look into your pond from the side like it was an aquarium.
Like you went to an aquarium. Oh, okay. Cool.
I don't know why I would have done that and not just put a big tank in the house. Hello. But it was a dream. And to make it even more weird, and everybody's going to be like, I don't know about this guy. I don't know if I want to watch him anymore. Our backyard was a Sheetz parking lot.
Oh.
If you're not from I think Sheetz is an East Coast thing. I don't know. Sheetz is like a Wawa, like a Circle K in some areas. I think it's a gas station convenience store.
That's weird.
And my daughter actually works at a Sheetz, and for some reason my backyard was a Sheetz.
Interesting.
But it had a lot of really cool ponds with Asian arowanas in it.
Wow.
But to answer your question, Jimmy, it doesn't matter what color it is. The red would be the dream, but it doesn't matter. I love them all.
Matthew Ladd says, I'm 12 and my mom will not let me get a 300-gallon fish tank. Kick her out.
What's his name?
Matthew Ladd.
Matthew. I wouldn't let any of my kids get a 300-gallon tank either. Where would we put it? I mean, but...
You would too let them. If they said, I'm going to go buy it and I want to put it in the house somewhere, you would say, we're making room somewhere for this 300-gallon tank. Yes, you would. Don't lie.
Yeah, I probably would.
Yeah, I know you would.
Henry Chavez, hi, got 13. What? It doesn't say 13. It says 15 tiny yellow labs that I'm putting in a 75-gallon tank. Also want to put 10 electric blue Alis will these get along? How about any peacocks? The pink dragon bloods look great. In my experience, pink dragon bloods are jerks, but they are absolutely gorgeous, and they're not all jerks. It's just I've got a jerk right now. Like the 10 electric blue Mollies in a 75 because they get a lot bigger than you think. They don't grow as fast as some of your other haps, but they can get to be right good size fish. And it's not that they won't get along with the yellow labs, but they're going to get big, and 10 of them in a 75 is too small. Peacocks, sure. Yeah. They'll be fine in a 75. That's when I came back from my break. That's what I started with, and I think I did like 14 of them in my 75-gallon tank, and they were fine.
Lucas Jeff asks, how many female betas would you recommend with a 20-gallon with 6 neon tetras? Well, let's see, a 20-gallon, I would say 5 or 6, and I would get maybe 6 more neon tetras. There you go.
I was reading questions, doing my job, so I didn't even hear the question, nor did I hear the answer. But good job.
Thanks.
Mattman B asked what could be the most unique question that we've ever been asked on this live stream before. If your fish could vote to keep you as their owner, do you think they would keep you, and why?
That is excellent. I like that.
These fish right here would definitely vote yes for me. My Africans right now in the basement, no, because they're mad at me right now because I haven't brought them up here yet. It's a 240
but they would
gallon
vote
tank.
yes for me because I'm the one that feeds them.
And I do spend time with them down there, but nowhere near as much. I mean, I'm sitting with these guys almost all day long. So these guys would definitely vote for me. Africans downstairs would vote for you. All the betas would vote for you. Of course they would, because the Angels and Danios, probably not. Because you walk past that tank a lot.
I feed that tank. I water change that tank. I have not cleaned a few things in the tank, out. Some of the leaves are getting bad because the daggone, what is that sucker fish called, John?
This is her job, folks.
Just kidding.
Her job is to talk about it. And the funny thing is, when she says what that fish is, she's going to say the name wrong. Watch.
You stop. It's not the vampire pleco.
It's the ancestris, the bristlenose pleco.
Yeah, that's what I was literally having a brain too. But yeah, the bristlenose, he loves to eat and suck on the Amazon sword. Messes it all up.
Monday O'Reilly clarified it is Aragorn, son of Arathorn. L-O-T. Oh, Lord of the Rings is my favorite. Yeah, I'm on Two Towers now. I too love the Lord of the Rings series. I always have. Love Lord of the Rings. The Hobbit, not as much. But I'm not saying I don't like it, but Return of the King, without any debate, is the best of the three, in my opinion. But yeah, I'm on Two Towers now. I will finish them on Sunday because that's kind of my Sunday thing, is watching those. But yeah, Viggo Mortensen, I'm a huge fan of, and I'm a huge fan of that character. It's just unfortunate that I've been saying his name wrong all this time. David LL, are we not going to acknowledge the huge plecostomus behind John? I wish the big box stores can show how big they get before they sell it. Yeah, he's not even all that big. He might look big in the in this camera angle. He's kind of right there on the glass, but he's probably 13 or so inches now. I did see him right there earlier putting on a show for y'all, but he's a good sized guy. I've had him since he was 3 inches long. I've had him since I came break from my back. Came back from my break. I bought him, put him in the 75, knowing that I was going to eventually move him up. He's been in that tank. He's been in the 240 downstairs, and he's been in here. And he's doing great work. He's out all the time. One of the most active common plecos I've ever had. I also have a vampire pleco in this tank. And if I could get close enough, you'd probably see him. But he's under that root all the time. And I can see his fins hanging out from underneath. That's all you ever see of him. I don't even know how big he is because I haven't seen him since I put him in there. Put him in the tank, he disappeared. But every once in a while, I see some black with white specks fins sticking down out of there. And so I know he's in there. I know he's alive. But anyway, thank you for acknowledging the pleco. Plecos don't get enough love, especially the common plecos. They don't get enough love, and they don't get taken care of properly by most people.
True. Wyatt's Aquatics asks, what plants do you recommend for a 75 tropical community tank? Well, let me tell you. What do I recommend, or what would others recommend? Because I would only recommend what I can take care of, and that's not a lot. So I typically stick with Amazon swords, jungle vow, Anubias, Java fern, stuff that's easy, pretty much. So if you want really good advice about plants and what the best plants to keep for a 75 gallon, I would watch a few videos from Aquarium Co-op.
You can't go wrong there. Kevin Moe and Timbo's Tanks both became new members tonight. Welcome to the team. Mel Hernandez, on the topic of discus, I have a 75 gallon, 75 with discus and would like to add tank mates. What would you suggest?
Rummy nose.
Also, what would you use for filtration? I have 2 sponge filters and 2 hang on the backs. Is that too much?
No, that sounds like it's enough.
It's plenty.
Yeah.
Discus don't like huge current, so if you're not blowing them around all over the place, and if your water's staying clean, then you're good. So many times you'll have people that have crystal clear tanks like that, and they're like, I just feel like I need more filtration. And I'm like, what about that tells you need more filtration?
Right.
It's perfect. So don't overcomplicate things. You probably don't need more filtration than that. And I second the rummy nose. A year ago, I would have said there's no better combo than discus and cardinals. It's just, that's what you see everywhere. And there's a reason. It's a spectacular combo.
I love my tank.
I do too.
It's
and now
one of my favorite tanks.
Rummy nose tetras have been one of my favorite fish for the longest time, and putting them with discus is amazing.
I just love how they just school together, and they're just so peaceful, and they don't bother the discus don't bother them. Yeah. Yep,
it's perfect. Mick Goldstorm, hello, you guys got me into this hobby and I'm new. I'd love to know what's the best to feed my baby shrimp. Also, what do I do to stop getting the little guys pulled up during water changes?
Oh, that's got to be hard. Huh?
That is the struggle with a fish tank, particularly with the little babies. You have to be particularly careful in those tanks. And, you
could always put like pantyhose on the end of the siphon. The only thing is, if there's like large poops and stuff, it won't go through the pantyhose, but
and the thing is, a lot of people use like planted substrates and shrimp substrates and stuff like that, and a lot of times you don't even want to be vacuuming that substrate. You want to be vacuuming what's right there on the surface. So what I would do, you used this technique, or you suggested this technique last week, tying a knot in your siphon hose. And not tying it tight, but being able to restrict it so that it slows the amount of flow going through your siphon hose, and it'll keep it more manageable and controllable. If it's a shrimp tank, it's, I'm sure, a very small tank. So if it takes you 10 minutes or so to be able to siphon it out without sucking up all of those babies, then that'd be a good thing. And then another idea would be to get yourself a white bucket and do your siphoning into that. And don't do it into the drain. If you have a python or something like that, don't use it on your shrimp tank. Use a white bucket, do your siphon in that, and then look in there, let the water settle, and then look in there. And if there's any baby shrimp, net them out and put them back in the tank. Easy enough. But actually that's going to be the easiest way. Go to Home Depot, get you a $3 white bucket. Your problem is solved.
Chris Hardy says, I'm new and I don't know how to get my guppies to breed. Is that a joke?
Keep them wet. Keep them wet. That's all you got to do.
I'm just kidding. Yeah, just
Keep them wet, keep them well fed.
It'll happen. It's definitely going to happen.
Jeremy Sellers, what's your opinion on Balor sharks? I love them, as long as they're in the right tank. That's another one that people buy, and they put in 10-gallon tanks, or they put them even in 20-gallon tanks. Balor sharks get massive, folks. They get bigger than Oscars. So, they really do need to be able to spread out.
And they look really nice, too, when they get bigger.
They really do. I'm a huge, huge fan of Balor sharks. But again, they need to be in the right tank. Oh, and Hudson, what can we look forward to seeing in the premium beta category? That's what I'm doing here, folks, now. I'm calling them betas for fun. Because believe it or not, people give me a hard time in the comment sections for saying beta. You can't win. But
I say beta.
What you can expect, this is probably going to make you a little upset, Owen, but what you can expect to see in the premium beta section, what he's talking about here is a page on our website that says premium betas, but there's no fish in there. You can expect that page to actually go away. Because they're just going to be individualized. We used to have them where there's going to be certain ones that are going to show up in the premium category. No, they're not. But what our plan was originally was those premium betas would be the ones that are like show quality, like $60, $70, $80 fish. But we're just not going to be keeping those.
I don't believe in selling them for that much.
Well, usually if we were selling them for that much, it's because we paid a lot more for them. But
I'm not going to pay that much more for something to have to sell that much more to other people. I want to keep people in the hobby, not discourage them.
It's true. You can expect that to go away. And that's just what it's going to be because we just have them all listed individually. Yep. Baby Foods GT, have you guys watched? This is a good question. It's really important for fish keepers to know the answer to this question. Have you guys watched The Walking Dead? I'm obsessed. Let me tell you about The Walking Dead.
I liked the first 2 seasons and then I was done.
I too. No, you watched until season 7.
No, it was probably like 4 or 5. Actually.
We're not going to spoil it for Baby Foods because we don't know how far Baby Foods is. But I'm obsessed with The Walking Dead too. And I can't wait. It's starting up again in a couple of weeks.
I thought it was done.
No. I'm obsessed with it too. I will admit it did get a little questionable there for a little bit, but it's back on track now, and it's an absolutely amazing show. Love it, love it, love it. And yeah, that's all I have to say about that. I have not watched any of the spin-off shows. Not interested in those. If it doesn't have Daryl Dixon and Rick Grimes, which anyway. Again, don't want to spoil anything, but if it doesn't have that cast in it, I ain't watching it. It's not my thing. But you got one?
Okay. Yeah. Misfits Peculiar YT. I guess does that mean YouTube?
It does.
Okay. Can I keep 2 beta female in a heavily planted tank with other fish, or will they fight if there's not 3? Well, depending on what size tank you have, I would have more instead of 2 because they probably will end up picking on each other. Maybe they won't, but I would go with they probably will. So I would have 5. I always say to have a minimum of 5 if you're going to do that, but you want to have the right size tank as well. So hopefully you have a 20-gallon or larger.
The Caps just got scored on again. It's 3-1 now. That's a team that literally did not lose a game for the first 14 games of the season, and now they're going to lose 2 in a row. Make me so mad. I just can't wait for baseball.
Next week I get to go to my daughter's very first college field hockey game, and I am so excited. The season was postponed from the fall till now, so there's only 6 seasons for the 2021 season, and it's going to be a lot of fun. I'm excited to see one in real life.
Yeah, I get to stay home and work, which that's
I'm going to be home as long as I can before I drive 6 hours.
I'm not trying to make you feel bad about it. I mean, it is what it is. Furloughs Aquatics again comes in, which is just throwing us all the money tonight. I got a breeding group of Pundamillineri flameback haps from Imperial Tropicals yesterday, and I already have a female holding.
Awesome. Those are beautiful.
That I talked about them last week.
Yeah, we
Love
had
them.
those before.
Absolutely. It wasn't last week. It was when you weren't here. I talked about those. Yeah, that's a great fish to breed. Eric, you're going to do good there. Delina Silva, Petco gave me a betta to try and save. He had columnaris. That's the worst word to say. He didn't make it. How thoroughly do I clean before I put something new in the tank? When it comes to that, you got to go all in.
Yeah, I would clean it thoroughly.
You got to go all in. You got to absolutely sterilize that thing. Start it all over, because that's one of the most lethal things that your fish can get. Treatable, yes, not all the time, but yeah, sterilize that bad boy. Stephen LeBlanc, how's the Malawi trout doing? Mine took 7 inches to color. Well, my lack of success with the Malawi trouts continues. That fish did not make it. I don't know what it was that took it out. When you have African cichlid tank with large haps in it, sometimes you go and look in your tank and there's a dead fish in there and you're like, what? That's what happened with that Malawi trout. And it's devastating because I so badly...
I know.
Listen to me. I have B-roll footage of a trout that I saw at that Lucky Aquariums, and I can't believe that I didn't buy it. That fish, I'll put him in a video somewhere. I mean, I don't know how to... We've only got 15 minutes. I can't show you right now, but it was one of the most magnificent trouts I've ever seen. It was like $125, and it was like a foot, fully colored up. It was unbelievable.
I don't remember seeing that.
It was right there when I bought all those fish that are in there except for the red Oscar. And I don't know why, but I didn't buy it. That was really dumb of me. I should have bought it. But you know what? Knowing my luck, it would have probably died 3 or 4 days after I bought it. Okay, I'm going to keep going.
Yeah, you should, because we don't have that much longer.
Okay. Bonnie Eden, I just bought Super Black Plaquette male number 1 from you, but weather is very cold. I'm naming him Socks.
Cool.
I'll
call him Socks then when I go feed him.
He's got little tips on him. Thank you. Yeah, that's awesome. Bonnie Eden, a repeat.
I know. She's right, because he's all black and the very bottom is white. It's so cute.
Yeah, Bonnie, we'll get them to you when it's safe to get them to you. Doesn't mean we're going to wait till spring. We've had very, very good success shipping fish by way of the Postal Service throughout this winter so far. I'm not going to say it because you know what that would mean, but we've had very good success with 100% rate.
For who?
With the Postal Service.
Oh, yeah.
Since Thanksgiving, we've had exactly
Express.
1 DOA, and that was with a UPS shipment, and it was late. I don't know what it was that held that up, but it was late, and I mean like a day late.
And that was a very special fish.
Yep. UPS does not do things the same way that the Postal Service does.
They've been doing good, though. That's the thing. So that one, it's like, it's a shock.
You'll notice on our website right now, UPS second day air is not available. And the reason why is because with UPS, and I'm not pooping on UPS here. I love UPS. They're amazing. But they don't keep their packages in the same conditions that the Postal Service does. And so second day air, when the weather's nice, is usually not a problem, particularly with bettas. But in the wintertime, they might be sitting out in a trailer somewhere or in a truck somewhere overnight, and they freeze. And so that's not something that's available. So we're actually encouraging people to use the Priority Express. Priority Express is not always 1 day. Even though it'll tell you it's 1 day, when the label prints out, it'll say Express 2 days, which drives me crazy. But right now, again, not pooping on UPS because I love UPS, but if you said I have to ship a fish anywhere in the United States right now, you have to choose the Postal Service, and it's going to take 3 days to get there, or UPS and it's going to take 2 days to get there, I would say the Postal Service 100 times out of 100, because they're indoors, they're in climate controlled conditions if they're sat overnight or they're traveling. So I would choose it 100 times out of 100, knowing that the fish is going to get there okay. Our record so far, and this was in the wintertime, was 11 days. Now, that's a bad thing. That is a Priority Express, got held up for whatever reason. The Postal Service never gives you any explanation. They just say COVID. But 11 days we had one get delayed and the fish survived.
I remember.
It wouldn't have survived if it was 11 hours late with UPS.
Yeah.
Love UPS, but anyway, I don't know what got me off on that. I'm sorry. Desert fish. I have a 90-gallon with 27 labs and 3 Socolify with all black sand rocks, but yours will raise the bar. Looking forward to seeing it. Yeah, thank you. It's not quite the way I wanted it to be, because we do have the Cirrostone in there that is not black, but I can only do what I can do. I didn't want just little, the caps make it 3-2 now, little pieces of lava rock. If I can find large lava rock again, which will have to probably be through this pandemic before that's going to become available again, I will buy it and I will replace that Cirrostone in there, and it'll be all black and it'll be nice. Whips World, just because you deserve more than a big 99-cent Stanley steamer. That's funny because he pooped on us earlier.
That's so sweet.
I'm super happy to have found you two. It all started with a Salcata rescue. Long story. What's Salcata? Salcata. Is it? What is that, Zach? I call him Zach, folks. It's not his name, but I call him Zach. It's a long story. I'm not sure what a Salcata is, but I'd love to hear the long story. I love KG comes in, 40-gallon breeder, 10 4-inch imbunas, 1 red tail, 1 pleco. Do I need a bigger tank? If so, how soon? Please give details. Lisa, your eyes look different.
Oh, I don't know. Maybe it's because it's 8 o'clock instead of 9.
She hasn't been drinking wine much. She usually puts in a lot more when it's 9 o'clock.
It's such a lie.
I hate if you're talking about a red tail catfish, no, I hate that. Don't hate that fish. I hate that in a 40-gallon breeder. You might be talking about a red tail shark, and I'm leaning more towards that because a red tail cat would have eaten all of those imbunas. So 10 4-inch imbunas, a red tail shark, 1 pleco, doesn't specify the pleco type, it doesn't matter. Do I need a bigger tank? I don't know what kind of pleco it is. If it's a common pleco, that's the only one I would have the biggest problem with. That pleco needs to get out of that 40-gallon tank, but all the others should be fine. But if it's like if it's an ancestress, which you usually wouldn't have those with imbunas, but if you're able to pull it off, then you're fine. Nothing needs to be changed there. Susan Hinson, in my fry tank, I use airline tubing for water changes. Genius.
Yeah.
It's safer
She's so smart.
for fry, and I can spot clean easier. Also, last night I did a water change and kept the fry, and the fry kept kissing me.
Oh, that's so sweet.
And let me hold them. Love when they're not afraid of you. Yeah, your hands are in there all the time. They're gonna recognize those hands.
Special.
They know those are the hands that feed them, and actually they know that big giant blob that comes into the tank every once in a while, and then food drops. That's what they know. But no, that's awesome. And I can't believe we didn't mention that earlier. Just a small hose, absolutely. Mm-hmm. That's a brilliant idea. Babu and Bar. Do you like AmGuard? I'm using Ammo Lock at the moment, as well as doing daily water changes at about 30 to 40% to do fish in cycle, but was thinking of switching. I have used both of those products, and I'm going to be completely honest with you. Neither one of them are necessary. Just use Prime or Complete. Fritz Complete and Prime, they both remove ammonia. So that's all you need. So that's what I would suggest that you do. And the good thing is when your ammo lock, when you get through the cycle and you're all done and you got 3/4 of a bottle of ammo lock left, there's nothing you can do with it. If you got 3/4 of a bottle of Fritz Complete left, well, you can just keep using that every time you do a water change. So it's perfect. That's what I would go with if I were you. And Owen Hudson, amen to can't wait for baseball. Yeah. Pitchers and catchers in 10 days, which I'm so excited for. The Nats have gotten a couple new pitchers this year, including an unbelievable closer.
Parra coming back?
Yep,
I heard he was coming back.
No, not Gerardo Parra. It's is it Gerardo Parra? I don't know.
Baby
I hope
Shark.
so. I hope so.
Yeah, I thought I saw something about that.
There's another guy that has a similar name, and I'm drawing a blank because I'm rushing. It doesn't matter. I hope he is, though.
Huh.
The Japanese gave him a lot of money. It would surprise me if he came back. But yeah.
That would be so cool because it's fine that he left for this last year because we couldn't see him anyways. But
it's true. I bought yesterday. It was only $20. There's the Pleco. See him? It was $20. I downloaded the MLB The Show baseball game on PlayStation, and I tried to play it for like 5 minutes, and I was like, this is too hard for me. Maybe someday I'll figure it out, but I'm one of those people. I like games where I can just turn it on and start playing and figure it out real easily, and there's so much stuff to figure out with that game. It is it's a struggle.
There's a question that I've seen come through a few times by the same person. Carlton Bodine. Other food options for my peacocks besides extreme big fella? I don't think there are any.
That's the only food out there.
Yeah. Nope. Next.
Hikari Cichlid Excel.
Yeah.
And Hikari Cichlid Gold. I don't care what everybody else says, and not everybody else says it, but I'm a fan of Hikari Foods. That's why we carry them on the website.
Yeah.
I'm a fan of Hikari Foods. I've been feeding them for decades. I don't care what anybody says. Basically, when people get too big, they get hated by people. That's what, anyway. That's why so many people hate the Patriots, because they were so good for so long, and everybody hates Tom Brady. But Hikari Foods are awesome, and the Extreme. Yeah, there you go. Right now, that's what I'm feeding Cichlid Gold and Big Fella in the 240 downstairs.
Yeah.
So
that's what I do. I do that in the beta room. Those are the two that I use as well.
Not Cichlid Gold, but
no, the Hikari and the
Yep.
Extreme.
Red Tail Shark, Bristlenose Pleco. When do I upgrade? You don't need to. You're good. That's from I Love KG. You're fine. The Red Tail Shark is going to be the biggest fish in the tank, but it's going to be fine. And the Bristlenose Pleco is certainly fine in a 40-gallon. You're good. You don't need to upgrade anything. But it's never a bad time to get a bigger tank. I'm just saying. So we got 2 minutes left. For the first time, we're going to finish on time. James is going to be so happy. So go ahead and sign us off. Thank you all, ladies and gentlemen, for hanging out with us tonight. But I'm going to pass it over to her like I do every single week.
And thank you to the mods for getting in here sooner. Sorry about changing the time and everything. I'm just thankful that you guys were able to get in here and help out. So,
but if you can't, we wouldn't have been mad at you.
No, absolutely not. We appreciate that so much. And thank you everybody for joining us again another week, stopping by anyways, even though we've started early, and we really appreciate that so much. And Catwoman VA.
Oh, that fry tank is on a rack, so they're used to. Oh. So they're used to my face.
Right.
I just ordered a bunch of plants. Wish me luck. Only had moss balls and Ponagitans before. Nice.
Good luck. Yeah, definitely.
Absolutely.
Put those. Post some of those pictures on Facebook in the Tank Talk group because I love seeing those pictures. It's
absolutely.
Awesome.
Yep.
But anyways, have a wonderful night. Go check out Fish Room Fever. Join in, the chat and ask a bunch of questions and
tell them you came from us.
Yeah. Hashtag
Lisa's jacket.
No. Hashtag Caps. Go Caps.
They're still losing, but yeah, that sounds fine.
Because it'll help them win. So head on over to Fish Room Fever, #GoCaps.
There we go. Goodbye, everybody.
Bye-bye.